3 rounds in to the 2022 campaign, and with the season well and truly getting into its general pace and tone for the rest of the year, let's look back at our 3rd round tie against Alamein at Dorothy Laver. While overall, not too much to say about the match, as it was broadly uneventful, there was a couple of points to note out throughout the various halves. First off, of course, there was some very, very good quality football. Definitely a marked improvement across the board, especially from a defensive position. Something we saw throughout both parts of all that. With a couple of players showing notable quality, in the likes of Wilson, Sandu, Papasanis, Farrow, playing even more spectacular saves. Definitely something to look out for in itself. Farrow and her saves. Fantastic football. Otherwise, not a great deal to mention about the first half, beyond Cat Smith being perhaps unusually quiet, which can be a good sign, can be a bad sign. What we say was it very much marked the relatively well-matched tone, relatively average across both sides, in terms of performance and eventfulness. So we won't dwell on that much longer. Second half, while certainly started off better for one side over the other, Alamein getting a 52nd minute goal courtesy of Vatiki. It was largely much like the first in terms of pace, tone, the only marked difference of course being we'd swapped ends. Beyond that, pretty much business as usual. Structurally, we certainly looked very good, much better than we had been past few games. It's certainly, I reckon, coming down to because we've had even more and more minutes together to cohesively come together, to bind together truly as a squad. I think that certainly made its mark very, very well known. As defensively, despite that early second half goal, we were looking very, very strong form. Particular note to Holly Murray, who's certainly shown a vast improvement over her first couple of games. So definitely very much impressing so far. Otherwise, the only real final things we can note was perhaps a more stubborn backline from Alamein, proving very, very hard to dislodge until it happens. Well, we won't say exactly how we felt at the time, so I'm sure you can guess that. However, whether you think that was a goal, whether you thought it was a foul, as was the decision given at the time, is your decision. But looking beyond that, overall rest of the match, really not a lot to write home about. It's just unfortunate that we do end up having these controversial circumstances where surely we perhaps deserved that point. If you look at the game overall, it was very much not much to draw the two sides again out against each other. It was a very evenly matched contest. A contest which certainly you deserve to have something out of. But beyond that, as noted, particularly with the squad coming together properly and really cohesing, a number of our recent recruits very much impressing, like some Murray, as we mentioned. Farrow cannot give that, our fantastic keeper enough praise. She is absolutely fabulous. There's no two ways about it. You can't convince me otherwise. Fantastic keeper. Very, very solid. Otherwise, McKenna definitely coming to her stride, coming to her role. She's been looking better and better every minute of play. Romano, again, very much coming to her role, looking very, very solid as a footballer. Mihocic making her formal introduction as a player. Of course, as you all know, Claudia was announced as part of our 2022 squad earlier in the year. She's been away, of course, being involved in the Young Matilda setup. Otherwise, we have our UCA winner in a very strong captain's contribution from Akeisha Sandhu, who certainly showed what it takes to play for South Melbourne and showing how we should be playing both structurally and cohesively. Very, very well deserved, Akeisha. Otherwise, of course, there is the obvious points we should note. Now, looking back, only managing to get a singular point in our opening 3 games isn't good by any metric, nor should it be warranted by any metric. Yes, we've had a squad that was largely foreign to one another. We had very few players come across compared to last year who actually played together as an 11. So yes, there's a lot of learning to do, a lot of trying to get into a new rhythm, especially when we've lost a number of key players who are very experienced and know how to get that squad really stick together as one. But the fact remains, this season has been our worst start to a campaign for a little bit over a decade. With 2011, we only managing to get 2 points from opening 9, or perhaps 2010, when we were stuck with a donut. Very, very poor start to the season. However, that was also a squad, or largely carried over squad, where we saw a number of Hall of Fame players and a number of names that certainly stick out in the minds of many long-term South Melbourne fans. The likes of Tiffany Eliadis, who of course played for us more recently, and is still playing within the league, certainly a stalwart of the WNPL. Then we've got the likes of Latrice Lavender, Vicky Cook, who was also a gaffer at one stage, Natalie Rajowski, of course, who could forget the Sporanovic sisters in Laura and Amelia. So there's some very big names, some very talented footballers who certainly perhaps had surprising results, but also in 2011 will go on to finish second in the league. So, if they can do that from 2 points from first 9, why can't we do that? Certainly, hope's not lost. It's a long way to go. It's going to be hard, but we can do it. We can fight back. So, first of all, we saw Box Hill United host Bayside United up at Wembley Park last Friday night. That was a very, very well fought match. Without a doubt in my mind, the most enthralling draw I've ever seen. I'm certainly quite surprised that Box Hill didn't manage to make it 3-2, because they were certainly overall the better side compared to Bayside, though Bayside certainly had much more fortune in comparison to Box Hill. Otherwise, very, very good result. Very, very good game. A real credit to the league. Of course, we had ourselves against Alamein. Heidelberg hosted FV Emerging. That resulted in a 1-0 win for Heidelberg, while Emerging perhaps are a bit unfortunate there. Managing to hold Heidelberg to 1-0 is certainly no laughing matter. That's showing that Winterburn side is playing very good football. Otherwise, finally, we had top of the table clash in Bulleen and Calder down at the Benito Club. That went on to be a 1-1 draw. So overall, couple of draws, couple of 1-0ers. Not too much separate the teams in the third round. Certainly a very competitive period compared to perhaps the first couple of rounds. Definitely seems all the teams are really getting in their stride and just proving their worth. So, how does this set the table out to be? Well, out in the lead, we have Alamein on 8 points, and somehow a 0 goal difference. In second, we have Bulleen on 7 points with a +5 goal difference. Certainly a more scoring or consistent start to the season for them. In third place, we have Heidelberg having jumped Calder. They are on a +4 goal difference with 6 points. Just behind them, of course, Calder in fourth with their +5 points and +4 goal difference. Good, strong start for Calder there. Down in fifth, but not far behind, we of course have FV emerging on 3 points still. They are on a -3 goal difference. Not too bad. Perhaps could be doing better. Box Hill, similar situation in terms of lacking a little bit of fortune. They are in sixth place with 2 points and a -2 goal difference. A nice balancing out approach, I think, with those numbers. In seventh, also on 2 points, we have Bayside, of course, with their -4 goal difference. We all know where we are. But in a slightly positive tone to that, we should note that our goal difference isn't spiraling out. In fact, it evens out with Bayside at -4 goals. Not too bad for only managing to get a point out of 3 games. Indeed, it could be far worse. And so, how does this weekend's fixtures shape up our 4th round tie in this WNPL campaign? Well, to get all off the mark, Alamein will be hosting Box Hill United on Saturday from 3 p.m. Also on Saturday, indeed, all our games for this round will be on Saturday. We'll see Calder United host Heidelberg, also from 3. That will be up at Keilor Park. Ourselves will be hosting FV Emerging up at Knox, while this is a home tie for ourselves. Knox is, of course, a venue we do play every so often for home matches when facilities are the way they are given this time of year. It's also a weird home away from home, being the opposition's home ground. That will also be a 3 o'clock kickoff. Otherwise, from 3:30, we will see Bayside United host Bulleen. That will be from 3:30 p.m. down at Kingston Heath. That certainly should cover all the league news for the time being. Otherwise, of course, we do have a nice positive note to end on, that being last night's Nike FC Cup draw against the Moreland Zebras. A Zebras side that certainly had a few familiar faces. While we don't have really too much in the way of great details about the match, because there's no real need to provide much details, because everyone really playing their game, very strong squad cohesion. A number of players are looking fantastic. Indeed, I don't think anyone really had a bad night out. Certainly a very good performance. 5 goals from 5 quality footballers. Indeed, even Chilsword. Now, while she would make it 5-1 on the scoreboard, we like to see things Chill being Chill, always be one of her own. She scored, but the ref got confused because it's laundry day. Ain't it, Alex? It was all laundry day. But otherwise, a fantastic night out and a very enjoyable 90 minutes. Certainly hope that the good feelings from last night will carry on into the weekend as we take on Emerging, which will be a good test of our newfound cohesion and the quality that we have within our side. So, until then, come on, Hellas.